Sweet, sweet.
Keeping it fresh, tune by tune. Best radio, where flavor matters.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Zest Radio, where we are flavor oriented. I am here with my beautiful mate, the Matthew Rennick.
Hello. What's up? What's up?
We are so happy to have you.
That's great. That's perfect. That was great. Perfect.
And if you don't know the sweet Matthew Rennick, he lives here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we are currently on Music Row right now. And we're going to get to the nitty gritty of what inspires this man, what feeds his violin the best, and how does he conquer that sound that is unheard of. So we're going to dive in and get to it. And I think what better place to start than the very first time I saw you play here in Nashville, Tennessee with the great Sacred Hollow Band. You guys, you must know Sacred Hollow is one of the best psychedelic brass bands we have here in the world. They consist of 5 guys that are... and the first time I saw them, I believe, was at City Winery. And you guys obviously killed it. And this man in front of me was smiling so hard on stage. And I had to tell him after, hey, man, you completely take me away. Your energy on stage is beautiful. And honestly, Matt has carried that energy for years now and always will. So I want to see where that came from and how that originated. And I want everyone to know how remarkable this guy is in front of me and what inspired that. So we're going to dive in and we're going to start at that show after the City Winery. You guys really took off and are on tour now constantly. And I guess to really kick off things is what started your musical inspiration to begin with, right? So if you could tell me a little bit about even your first concert and where you heard the gift of music in your life.
I mean, music has always been in my family, and it's always been my dad has been a musician since he could remember, and he did like Christian music, and my mom played in band during high school and stuff. So it's kind of in my blood
In the
already.
family, yeah.
And so then they just influenced me in ways like doing like listening to Avett Brothers and Vampire Weekend and like other cool bands like Rush, Dream Theater, and all that kind of like cool progressive stuff my brother used to listen to. And so he kind of gave me a lot of those influences. My brother did, and he gave me a lot of different insights to what music could be and like what, all these different
How it should
cool
be.
inspirations. Yeah,
Heck
for sure. Yeah.
I got to hang out with your parents, man. They sound rad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. My whole family is great for sure. And my sister does musicals. So we all do music, which is really cool.
So
in
your
some form.
instrument, I guess, first pick is the violin, correct?
Always.
Always, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So when did you actually first pick up the violin?
Picked up the violin when I was 4.5 years
Gracious.
old, and I was playing the violin at a recital. My brother was playing piano at a recital. There was violinists, and I decided I
just
was like,
got
I
blown
wanted
away.
to do it.
Yeah,
And then my
got
mom
taken
got
by
me
the wind.
lessons, and then I did it.
Ah, God bless your mother.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I
Yes.
love her so much.
So one of your inspirations is, remind me her name. It's the violinist.
Lindsay Sterling?
Yes. How
Yeah.
could I forget?
She's the best. For
And
sure.
you sound your journey through sound is so similar to what she creates, and your energy on stage is very similar to how she is. Dances around, you take up every ounce of just rocking it, jamming it, smiling about it, dancing about it. You're so comfortable, and I've always adored that about you because some of the things that I think people don't realize is how nerve-wracking it is to get up there
Yeah.
and do a solo
It
and be
is.
vulnerable. And also, you're putting yourself out there with these, for me, if I go through a breakup, it's a sad song, right? And I'm getting up there and I'm like, oh, I got to read my diary for you guys and I hope you like it,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I have always just admired Sigurd Hollow's energy in that, and your energy, definitely. And if you guys don't know, we also have a side piece that is called Blue Halo that specializes in electronic music, and you guys definitely check that out. It's also very part of our journey. And we started that about 4 years ago. And really, with the whole Lindsey Sterling aspect, it's really inspired that sound there a lot.
Hmm.
And I'm really proud to see how much you've grown within that realm. And for our listeners listening today, we have a super juicy secret that Matt is actually going to be diving into production himself
Totally.
and creating some new
Yep.
songs.
It's in the works.
Yes, all by him, and we're so excited about it. We're gonna maybe give a clip at the end of the show. Maybe give some hype there. Um, so yeah, let's get back to Sacred Hollow, man, and how that originated because there's a lot of questions around town. Everybody really looks to you guys as a leading example in the music industry here, at least for young executives like myself. I see how much you guys have grown over the years, and it's really, really beautiful. And I know you guys raised money for your album.
Hmm.
How hard was that?
It was surprisingly really easy.
Really?
The hardest part was fulfilling all of the Patreon, needs quickly because it happened so fast, So we
Right.
had to sign up all the signing was really fun. We signed all the different all the vinyl records, and we
Yes.
gave them all to the
I didn't
people
get
that did
one.
the
I'm just kidding.
Patreon. The Patreon, yeah, the Patreon was really cool. I mean, I think it was like in 2 nights or something like that, or like one
That's
night.
amazing.
We pretty much got the whole thing.
Just
So
knocked it out.
yeah, it was a
Dang.
lot of generous, people that are in the fam that helped us out with that.
So how
So
did you guys pick the songs for that? Were they all new? Were they some old? Were they something you guys were working on
yeah,
previously?
we were already working on them. Some of them we played live already. Some of them we didn't play live yet, and we just like mixture of those kind of songs and
That's
put them all
awesome.
in there. Yeah.
So when you guys have a new track, do you guys test that out on the waters before
Yeah,
you
way
actually record
beforehand.
it?
Yeah, way
Yes.
beforehand. I always already have a melody ready to go before we go to the studio,
That's awesome.
unless it's something that's needed to change. But I'm always up to whatever, like any changes that's needed.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. That's great because when we would go in the studio, we would always be like la da da da,
Yeah,
a lot of
that's what I love
improv.
about it. Yeah, that's what I love
Yes,
about Blue Halo is because like we just kind of do whatever we want to do in that moment. Same thing with Sacred Hollows, but I want it to be
more precise in
more
the.
precise when we get to the studio because usually are spending a lot more money.
Yeah,
It's usually a lot more money than just us.
and recording with five guys, man.
Hmm.
I mean, even with us,
Hmm.
it takes a lot. So the fact that you guys do that so effortlessly is really important, listeners. This is so much flavor that I can't even get off my chest. I'm completely blown away. So if you guys haven't already, please check out that album. And if you guys haven't checked out Sacred Hollow yet, if you want to give us some of your upcoming tour dates that
Oh
maybe
yeah,
we could
yeah. Oh yeah.
see.
The album is Brightest of Days. That was what we were talking about.
Yes, the
Brightest of
brightest of
Days.
days. It's got some of my favorite tracks
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, it's really good. That's my favorite of ours so far. We got a new EP coming out soon. Not sure when, but we got some more music coming out
Always,
for sure.
always, yes. So many
So
good things in store.
yeah,
That's amazing. So are you guys still on tour? Are you about to do a summer tour?
we're doing weekend warrior gigs where we stay home and then we go out for the weekends and
Weekend Warrior.
yeah. So next show is next week and we're going to Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Bowl
Oh my gosh,
in
what
New
a
York.
dream.
Yeah, so we're just our second time playing there and we're actually doing a co-headlining gig with Hot Buttered Rum. I think that's the one we're doing. Hot Buttered Rum. Yeah.
So how is that playing from Nashville to New York? Or the is the
Nashville is actually becoming. I mean, New York's like way different than anywhere
is
else
it
in the world.
is it more nerve-wracking or less? Because being
It's
with Nashville,
less.
you have everyone in music
Yeah,
with big judgments of how
and
things can
friends
rock.
are more. It's easier to play in front of people that you don't know than people that are friends.
Yeah,
So and friends, most of them are pretty chill. I like the people in Nashville. Nashville's very good at being chill with the
accepting,
people.
yeah,
Yeah, with
and
the people that
supporting.
are a little bit higher in notoriety
Yeah,
around town. They
yeah.
try not to bother them too much. And I'm
Yeah.
not really in high notoriety at all.
Yes,
But
you are, man. We are high note.
but Yeah.
That's great.
But New York is way different. My brother lives there, and so he sees me when we go to.
I bet he cries his eyes out.
I'm sure he cries a little bit. You never know.
My brother does not. My brother thinks I'm crazy, man. Has it been, with your family, where I come from? I'm from a very small town where music was just not an option to dive in or even work in, and I've been working in the industry for almost 7 years now. So for me, I had to really back it up and how that was. But I guess with your family, and them actually, knowing a bit more about music, you didn't have to necessarily be like, "Hey, man, let me be myself."
Mhm. Mhm.
It was kind of just always supported, and I think that's how it's so natural for you now too. It's
Mhm.
just been a part of life that's always been one and one.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, when I was homeschooled, so I didn't really do my homework that much because I just played violin and played
That is
video
homework.
games. Yeah, and so I played Guitar Hero a lot because it helped me with my pinky finger whenever I was playing my violin. So it all kind
Ah.
of coincides together.
That's cool.
But
So, how many hours would you say takes to master an instrument,
um,
in your opinion? With your violin, do you just wake up and you practice all day every day, or do
this is a good
you?
question because I mean I teach students too over Zoom call right now.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about doing it in person at some point.
Definitely.
But I really love seeing the progression of just straight from nothing. 1 year so far, I've taught these kids, and they're already at the end of Suzuki Book One, which is pretty good. But I would say that's not mastering an instrument. So they probably spent more than 200 hours on their instrument, maybe a little bit less than 200 hours on their instrument. So it probably to master an instrument, it'd probably take about 1500 or
1,500,000
to
hours.
yeah 1500,000. No, yeah. I think 15 to 2,000 hours on an instrument. I would say you're like a master at it. I still don't consider myself a
I
master at
consider
an
you a
instrument.
master, but
No.
that's just me.
No,
That's awesome,
because
though.
there's still so much for me to learn on my instrument for sure. So
Well, that is one thing about music. I mean, you never really quit learning. I guess you can, the finger placement and all those things on an instrument is
yeah.
one thing, but even would you ever pick up another instrument?
I
Do you
do.
find
I mean, I
passion?
love my keyboard on Omnisphere because you can be
Yes.
any instrument on one singular plane, but it's fun. I think that you playing the violin is a lot harder because of the fretless stuff, and
Yes.
so trying to figure out how to smoothly and for doing it fast is the hard part to go from one section of the violin to the next, to the next, to the next. So
And
it's
dancing
very
with it
hard.
and smiling
Yeah.
about it. I mean,
Yeah,
you're a
so I
man of
can. I
many
mean,
talents,
fourth
my friend.
position or first position is the easiest. You can kind of just do everything, and that's what I teach. Beginners. Obviously, you start with the first
Take them step
position.
by step.
Yeah, and then eventually it just becomes, they can play whatever they want at that point. So,
So you think at
you know,
that point with when you hear a song and you can automatically play it when you hear something.
yeah, and
So
you
is
can
it
pretty much
once
do
you
it. Yeah.
master that is when it becomes that way?
Pretty much, yeah. You
Awesome.
really, and that's kind of encouraging for violinists out there. Is like you really can just start with that first position. Don't worry about going to the second and third. Don't even worry about that until later because that's taught in book 2 and book 3. So you start off with book 1. That's just all in that first position. Once you're done with that, you can really just pick up a song on Spotify or YouTube and just like learn it from ear if you're doing the Suzuki method. Pretty
Awesome.
much, yeah.
I've also heard some producers using a reference track when they produce. So they'll take like an old banger hit and they'll put it in and then they'll build their drum kit around that,
Hmm.
which I find really inspiring too because, you want to play with some of those instruments that are those go-getter tracks. So good for remixes and things like that. So that's awesome. Um, so with your piano and the Omnisphere stuff, when do you think you're going to try to to drop some new music for us on the solo grind.
Not for a while. I think I have a lot of stuff stocked up. Actually really want to get in touch with indie game developers
Yes,
and make like 8-bit violin music for their like a really cool indie game or something that like
absolutely.
I feel passionate about too, you know.
Hmm.
That would be really really cool.
I think that would be amazing for
Yeah.
you. I think you should also create your own video game too. I think
Oh
you're so
yeah,
smart in
I was kind of
that.
thinking. Yeah, I did some research on that too. It's a little bit too. It's not too programmer heavy nowadays because of the AI and all that kind of stuff. You can kind of cheat your way through it.
Huh.
Like ask AI like stuff, whatever.
With anything, yeah.
But like, well, they have like easy game making programs and stuff that have it all built in and stuff.
Cool.
So you can. There's easy ways to make the games, but I think that if I focus on the music, that'd be really cool. So I've been just that's why I've been trying to learn how to use Ableton more.
That's
is so I
awesome.
can make that
You could also
happen.
do sample packs as well. That with my work, we sell a bunch of sample packs that are amazing. Some top lines, vocal stuff, just violin, anything.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that you could do. That would be another outlet too. That could be
totally.
fun to play with. So you're teaching students right now. You're on tour. You're trying to do the video game stuff.
Yeah,
How do you keep it together? Do you do any sense of yoga, any
sometimes.
exercise?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Is there any pre show treatment or ritual that kind of helps you get to that mellow place in your mind without being stressed? Because
yeah,
we all know the music industry can get stressful,
yeah.
just moving around all the time and putting yourself out there. So, yeah, what's your go to there?
I used to have, I used to drink a beer, and like with the band, and then relax there. But now I found that just sitting by myself and meditating for a second and then going on the stage is is my favorite way to do it for
That's
sure.
awesome.
But like if it's hours, 4 hours before,
You're
I
like, give me
would
the bear. No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah, no. Yeah, I mean sometimes, but because I don't really drink more than like two or three
Right.
nowadays. But
Honestly, personally, I've seen you as you guys tour more. It's just how you can keep up that stamina
yeah,
is
you can't drink
everything.
every
You
night.
can't
Yeah,
do
there's
it.
no way.
And I think that that's a huge misconception about artists. You think a bunch of guys are on tour and they're just party rocking and and that it's just not the
No, we're a
case.
bunch of nerds. At least me and Parrish are.
Yes, I love you. You guys are the best nerds ever.
Yeah.
And I think that that's how you guys will last,
Hmm.
because you're taking care of yourselves while you're also putting yourselves out there. And a lot of people get carried away in the nonsense about it and they lose sight of actually keeping their bodies healthy, their minds healthy.
Hmm.
So I think that was, a super important thing to hit on is just see how you actually prepare yourself because too, you guys have a lot of instruments going on at the same time. And, for me, we just have ours and I'm like trying to keep myself on track while watching you. So the fact you guys all come together and I also adore the fact that you guys, while you're on stage and you have a solo or a Parrish or Will, whoever has a solo, you guys will all kind of not allow that to happen, but you
We
give that
change.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it changes. Yeah.
Yeah. And you open that respective light for them to take over their part. And,
Hmm.
I've kind of done that, for us as well. And I love seeing that connection, I guess, because it's a beautiful thing in music and a lot of people, a lot of bands will actually break up if they don't feel heard over the other one or things like that. It's really hard to be leveled out. And yeah, I think that it's super inspiring that you guys have, you may have your times, but the way that you guys represent on stage and how that is carried is absolutely astonishing to me. And I know I'm not the only one. You guys have a big fan group on Facebook too. You got the
Yeah,
Sickard
that's growing
fam.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the merch. You got all the good stuff. I still have my New Heights Brewing drink that you guys just threw a festival there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. We just did it with the Iguana Head, the Persh, and Trevor Clark,
Yes.
and there's this guy. There was a new band that was really really good. I can't remember it, but it was called the Flat Rock Music Festival. Check it out. There was all
Yes.
the artists there were really good. It
Yes. So is
was
that
really
going to
fun.
be an every year type of gig for you
Maybe.
guys?
Yeah, we
It
might. It might. I
should.
think. I think we might do it annually.
Are you guys going to create another drink?
Probably.
You
Now that
should.
that was
Just have a
successful, that was really
whole
fun.
tap wall,
Yeah,
and just different Sickard
it was
beers. That'd
awesome.
be
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure, for sure.
Even though, yeah. Well, that's cool,
No, I'm
man.
always down to drink my own beer. I'll do that. Yeah, I like drinking at home. It's really
Maybe
weird. Like
after
people are
the
like, "Oh, I'm
show.
social drinkers." Like I kind of am social drinker. I'm a social drinker at my house on my computer on Discord.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like
that's your
that's
bar,
when I
man.
yeah, that's when
That's
I cuz like all the drinks are free cuz I already paid for it. You know, they're
yeah.
free cuz they're at my house
You
and I
don't
can
have to
just,
worry about someone trauma dumping next to you at the bar
exactly.
or somebody fighting on
Ex-
the side.
yeah. You don't have to drive home because you're already home. You're already at the party. You're
That's
already
true.
home. It's
Super
already there.
safe.
You're good to go. Yeah, self-preservation is a huge thing, especially in the line of work that I am,
We're gonna
so
create a lot of introverts after this episode.
yeah,
But I'm the same way actually. I find that it's a lot easier to relax and take the load off when you are by yourself. And sometimes I
yeah.
actually battle being an introvert in that way where I did used to use drinking as a social situation to go just connect with people after
Mhm.
a long day at work or something. But now, I barely even have a glass of wine by myself, and I actually have to force myself sometimes to be like, just relax a little bit. You might need this, you might not.
Yeah.
But really putting that two in, like, how do you find time for your friends to hang out, to hike, to do
Yeah.
your relationship? How is that affected, or is it affected when it comes to touring that much and
Yeah,
recording?
for sure.
Is it hard to? I know I personally haven't seen you in a long time. Not that we ever change, but I guess it's probably really hard for you internally to be putting yourself all these places. You come home, you teach kids,
Mhm.
you try to relax with your girlfriend when you can,
Mhm.
you're trying to see your family when you can. Is there anything, I guess, time management wise, that you do to really you do all these things brilliantly, and you still have time to drink a beer and do some games?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
you
Yeah.
know?
Honestly, there's a lot of time. That's what's crazy is that I still don't think I definitely am not spending enough time learning how to use the program, and doing the things that I really think I need to be doing. There is still a lot of downtime, and a lot of that time is, spent with my girlfriend, watching
Yeah.
movies, whatever, playing games. But then there's also a lot of intentional practice that goes in, and it's like intentional relaxation as well.
Also has
You
to
know what
go
I mean?
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
like everything that I do is like it may seem weird to the outside perspective if somebody's looking at my life. They might think it's
I
really
don't. I
weird, but
think
like
that's all
I
your
have a
perception.
thing,
I think
like
that
it's kind of
your
a thing.
schedule really works and can inspire a lot of people because I think that you are this weekend warrior. Even more than that, I feel like you guys are playing every single day.
Yeah,
Um,
feels like it
yeah,
sometimes. Yeah,
yeah, which is such a blessing.
yeah,
And then you can come home and you kind of have things laid out, and it's you don't have to worry so much. And
yeah,
for me, it's hard to work, to record, to do these things. And I know a lot of artists get ghost producers just to be able to tour and get new music out there all the time.
sure.
So the fact that you guys are staying fresh and zest, you like that,
Yes.
you're staying fresh, and you constantly are coming up with new shows, new ideas, new merch, new drinks, new
Yeah, we got some new
everything.
merch coming
You're
out.
putting new bands on. You're constantly, I think, a beautiful example of what Nashville can offer, right? If done correctly.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
absolutely, absolutely. So how do you feel, with aside from Sickard, we have this EDM beautiful duo, right? That we love to just get wild in and try new sounds. And we never discriminate against artists. We always want an open relationship with all artists. We love
Hmm.
collaboration. We love creating performance, right? We love that so much so that people actually thought that we were wizards and got a little too carried away because we were previously known as Magic, and maybe you've heard that name. And we actually recently rebranded after we lost one of our beautiful mates, and dedicated this project to him now, and how he's inspired us both to be individually ourselves. And I guess going forward, I'd love to let the people know what we have in mind in terms of our sound because we are kind of branching out into not a new genre, but more of a something to dance easier to.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a new style of electronic music than what we did before. A little bit more dancey, a little bit more um, spiritually enlightening. That's
Always
what I'm trying
that,
to
right?
do.
We
You
can't
know.
even get away from that if we
Yeah,
wanted to.
but it's like I want to do that, but also make it funky, make it exciting,
Yeah, yeah.
make it poppy, make it snappy.
Uh
You know,
huh.
at the same time. You know,
Yes, a
so
little more. I want to say hype, but it's not even that.
that's a
But kind of.
somewhat of a yeah. That's like
Yeah.
one of the words that describes it. Just like wanting it to be more less soundscapey, a little bit more you know uh, exciting. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
so
definitely. More rhythm, I guess. We've always
yeah.
said follow the rhythm, so we're going to keep following that.
Yeah, better
And
drum patches and I
all
don't
of
know,
it.
just trying to figure that out.
All of
It's
it. We're
so
trying to.
hard sometimes
Yes,
to
but
figure out how to do all that, or like this picking a snare,
creating the
pick
melody,
yeah, picking a
popping a string on
cymbal, popping a
stage.
string on stage.
So I do want to at least tell that story,
Oh
man.
yeah.
That's a good story. So actually, the mate that we are dedicating this project to, the first time he helped us with our sound and we actually came across his beautiful energy was at Greenway Music Festival a few years ago, and this was actually the festival, the Rue Refugee Festival for
Mhm.
Bonnaroo that got canceled, and the promoters who put this festival together are absolutely breathtaking and how it came to be. And I'll never forget. You never told me we were playing main stage,
Oh
and
yeah.
we didn't. I knew we were gonna play, but we didn't talk on the way over there. And we walk in, and you're just like, "Oh, let's just follow me to the main stage." I'm like, "Where are we going, man? I'm not gonna play this." I couldn't talk before, and so, I get stage fright really bad, and you've helped me a lot with that movement and
Mhm.
overcoming that fear. And during this set, this was actually such a moving moment for me. I got so carried away and trying to just not mess it up, right?
Mhm.
Because we were in front of so many people. And I look over. Well, one before we went on stage, everyone was chanting your name, which was so
It was
freaking cool
crazy.
to me. Yes, it was so like, oh my gosh, like so the energy there that night was just so cool. And so we get on stage, we're dancing, we're killing it, and then I look over and you're no longer there, and I almost pissed my pants on stage. I'm not gonna lie to you because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're chanting his name. Where did he go? And I look over and I see you and our mate sitting on the side, and you were fixing your string, and you did this within like 30 seconds. Like the
Yeah.
time I saw you, I look back at the decks and I'm like, all right, I got to hold this together till he gets back. And literally by the time that thought was over, you were right back on stage. And I was like, thank the Lord. That
Yeah,
is amazing.
it was crazy. If it wasn't for the people there and for Kyle for having a light on deck and ready to go, it's like, what do you need, Matthew? What's going on? And then
Yeah,
he was there for me, and so
always.
you can't. He was the best
Couldn't be
sound
replicated.
guy or every person, everybody. Like, yeah, he was one of my favorite people in the world. So.
Everything. So I guess going from that, do you face those things a lot being on stage? Do you guys pop strings frequently?
Me, not
How
so
often
much.
do you change your strings out? A lot of people don't even know to ever change your strings out. So,
Yeah.
um, so how often do you do that for your violin?
Yeah, so I change my strings out every couple months, because I mean, they take so long for the strings to put on to actually make the correct sound, like to make the sound that you want. It takes 2 weeks of playing time
I was gonna
for it to
ask.
actually like
Yeah.
sink into the violin. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to really 2 weeks of playtime.
Dang.
It can be less than that. Like as far as 2 weeks in time, if you're playing more, so I basically just try to just play as much as I can until it
So
gets to that
once you
point.
get it to that 2 week mark, How long would you say they usually last?
That's when it's like
Years?
no, it's like
Thousands of
3 months.
years?
No, it's like 3 months. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's about like 2 to 3 months depending on how many shows you play.
Dang.
And
And
if they pop, usually it's the E string that pops, is because it's the tiniest
ah,
string, and so you press it. What I think happens is that the horsehair actually cuts the string
huh.
because of the tension that it's going
Oh,
into. So
wow.
if
Yeah.
you play it in a weird way at a weird time at some kind of weird angle, it'll literally just like cut the string.
Huh.
That's what I think is happening every time I do it, because that's what it sounds like. And it's
That's
just like
really
pop,
cool.
or maybe it just pops.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
not cool, but it could be cool to
It is
create
kind
a
of
new
cool.
E string to take on that tension, or even kind of like
Totally.
designing something new that
Yeah,
could.
there's something yeah, there's something weird about it, but
Huh.
it might be just the way that I'm playing. Maybe I mess it up, but I
Or
don't
maybe you're just
know.
throwing so much good energy
Yeah,
on there, it just
maybe I'm
can't
just
take
playing
it.
on it too hard. Yeah,
Yes, it can't take it.
yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I'll never forget that moment, man. And also, we played at Pandora's Box, which used to be a venue here on the east side of town, here in Nashville. And I remember when we played, there was this table, or I don't know what it was, but it felt like the floors were about to come up. And me and you, I felt like we were surfing almost,
Right.
because I was like trying to keep my balance. But me and you were like dancing, and it's like you were on like we were just getting down,
It
man,
was
right?
crazy.
It was so much fun. So much
That was a
fun.
sweat box. That was a
That
lot of
was a
people.
sweat
It was like
box.
it was an event that I ran around all day trying to make happen, and because it was a last minute thing, like pretty much, like I
Well,
went to Guitar Center, had to get the sound gear, or no, it was the light gear, I think. Yeah, it was like lighting
oh my
basically, and so then
gosh,
I got the lighting, and then
I forgot
brought it
all
down
about that.
there, and then we got our own sound system, the Sickard sound system, and then we used that, and then we had somebody that didn't even know how to do sound. It was a crazy ass. That was the craziest show I've ever like put on, because it was like pretty much, it wasn't all by myself. We had like a team of people that kind of all came in and started helping out, but it was still like, it felt like a lot of the pressure was on me to kind of do the thing. But it didn't really
Absolutely
feel like that much
right.
pressure nowadays. Now if I tried to do that kind of thing, it would tear me apart in some ways in my soul, because like depending on how easy it goes, it just kind of has
Right.
to just flow.
Right.
If it doesn't flow and you're not really like doing it, like, and you're not enjoying it and it's not happening, then
It's
it's
not
not gonna
worth it.
happen.
Yeah.
Because and I was just enjoying my time doing all that kind of stuff, and then it turned out to be a great event. That's
Absolutely.
what that even if it didn't turn out to be a great event, I wouldn't have been salty about it, because I would have
Yeah.
been fine. But nowadays it's like I'm so much more low energy unless I'm like, in go
Or more
mode.
time oriented. I mean,
Yeah,
time management's huge for you, I
yeah.
mean, that's just
I
how.
only have so much time at home
Yeah.
with my cat and my girlfriend, of course. Of course.
Love her. Love her.
Yeah.
Oh, your kitty. That's sweet. So, you think you'll stay in Nashville for the future?
Maybe move to Florida.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I want to get a $300 Disney World annual pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
I see you and your mate love to do
That's
that.
our
I think
favorite.
that's a great downtime because it's like
It's a vacation.
it's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exciting. And y'all's pictures every time on the roller coaster are so awesome.
Yeah, we get
And make
inspired.
me laugh every
Yeah,
time.
really fun.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah, it's a good time for sure.
Aw.
Can't wait to take the kids in the future.
Oh
That's
yeah.
like, I'm trying to know all the ins and outs, but it always changes, so it'll be different like 10 years from now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But it'll be fun.
That is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So if you have a kid in the future, do you think you would teach him violin?
Yeah, that would
that.
probably be their instrument, because even if they decide not to play violin anymore, because they know how to play the violin, they're able to play any instrument.
I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, do you think that correlates outside of the violin as well, like with people that could play the guitar?
Yeah,
Because I kind of
other instruments
learned
for
how
sure.
to strum the guitar first, and then now I'm more of a producer. Just I like to play all kinds of things, but the flute, it really, I don't know, helped me in carrying that, I guess, level of rhythm maybe
Yeah.
or melody, or I'm not sure, but I feel like it is a little bit easier to pick up another instrument once you've become familiar with it, right?
Hmm.
I mean,
Because I mean, if you think about it, all instruments are just a different way of playing the same notes,
hmm
you know. And so if you know what all the notes are, then all the notes are pretty much the same on every single instrument. They're just placed in a different place, you
yeah,
know,
that's
and
what
you have to
killed
be
me with
playing
the
in a different way.
AE05. Remember that was.
Yeah,
So, guys, this AE05 is a electronic wind instrument from Roland, and we incorporated it into our gigs. We thought, how fun is this? It's so futuristic, and it's been great. We've gotten a great reaction from it, but it's got almost 7 or 8 different instruments on it, and
hmm,
every time you switch the instrument, the finger placement changes. So I was having to write down all of my notes and every time they switched, and remember, of course, just learning to get familiar with the instrument itself. But it was rough for me, man. There was a couple festival gigs we played where I had to literally go up with my notebook and felt like I was a kid with the recorder back in the 5th grade because I was just trying to hang on
totally.
as we switched from different keys with different instruments. It can play the sax, the violin. You can create a drum kit, all these cool things. So definitely check it out. Which I wanted to see your opinion on futuristic instruments too, because we always talked about getting super rad electronic
Yeah,
violins.
6 string
Is
Mark Wood
yes.
violin, V violin that all
They
the
make us
cool kids
drool every
use.
time. Please sponsor us if you're
Yeah,
listening and
Mark
give us
Wood. I went
yeah.
to his violin rock camp. He knows me. Mark Wood, come on, man. Give me
Yeah,
one of
come on,
those
Mark. Come on,
things.
Mark. That's
Give me one of those things.
awesome.
About that time. Yeah, I had a seizure on the airplane on the way to the Mark Wood violin rock camp. It was just like a random thing that just happened. Like I remember having to use the restroom really bad, and I remember I took some Dramamine, and something with the combination of the
Yeah.
Dramamine and the having to use the restroom and having to wait to use the restroom while we landed.
Ugh, so
And
much on
then
your
and then
body
my
and
body just like snapped, and I think maybe I haven't taken Dramamine since. So,
yeah,
but
well,
I don't know what happened.
that's
It's
insane.
crazy.
Cuz I had a seizure actually after the car accident due to my antibiotics and my medicine or something that was happening, and I my neurologist did all the checks and everything. Was like, "You're fine. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Please don't take this medicine again."
Hmm.
And I was so pissed, man. I'm like, "Dang, that was so much of my body just because of a, a medicine that I thought was actually helping me too." So it's cool that you've overcome that because going through things like that can really be flustering,
It
and
was wild.
yeah, you get kind of intimidated, like, oh dang, what is that? What was that?
Yeah.
Who was that? So I'm really happy that you're okay. Yes, please stay away from whatever that
Yeah, that
is.
was that was crazy. I can't remember. I don't even remember what happened. I remember, waking up and then going to the festival, or not the festival, the rock camp, and just went about my time. And it was really fun. I
Yeah.
learned a lot. I learned so much about music and, circle of fifths, and learning how to put stuff on. We had like garage band class, which was really cool, and like
I'm
knowing how to
jealous.
read music. We did a Prince.
That is so
A
fun.
Prince tribute night thing, and
Well, maybe that was
it
all
was really
just
cool.
meant to happen so that you can just be, extra grateful for that
I think
experience you
so.
had
Yeah,
after.
I think so too. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's
It was all
awesome.
meant to happen, but because of that, we weren't able to get the electric violin that I wanted.
Yeah, Mark. So
Yeah,
we're
exactly,
coming
Mark.
back
Yeah,
for that.
exactly. I want that. Yeah.
Yeah, that really elevates everything. Which we've done a good job, keeping it interesting in terms of what we wear on stage. We try to keep our instruments fresh, our outfits fresh. We try to coordinate the best we can
Yeah, and keep it comfy because that's
and
important.
keep it comfy. Really, if it was ideal for us, we would just be in wizard costumes and
Yeah,
and
robes.
jam with no
Yeah.
shoes on. So how do you think? How is that different? Looking at Sickard versus Blue Halo, and how the art of Sickard is different from their performance aspect of, like, I feel like we're more theater,
Hmm.
and they're just more of music art itself in a way.
Yeah, like a traditional band, like more like traditional band feeling with
But
a
like
more
the
of a
home of
family.
where music came from. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying?
Very
Like,
family,
yeah.
homey music and vibe of the whole concert for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you go there, you're gonna dance with all your
Hmm.
friends and family,
Right.
right? And I feel like when
Exactly.
you go see Blue Halo, you're just astonished at the visuals behind us. our crazy instruments
Mm-hmm.
or dance moves,
Yeah.
head banging.
Cool theatrics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that you have the two and you can play with the two because it's really two different realms. And I think a lot of people have trouble mixing the two, or they get scared to mix the two, or they would rather just stick to one aspect of music and not play with the other. So I really like that you put yourself out there even more to keep yourself inspired in that
Mm-hmm.
way.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever do theater or
I did
anything?
musicals in high school and
Did you
everything,
really?
and when I lived in California, and I was dating this girl, and we did a lot of musicals together in high school.
Well, don't give me too much of the tea there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there wasn't much. It was a really sweet first relationship, very sweet. Yeah,
Well,
and we
if
did
you did a
musicals
musical
together.
together, it sounds
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, it was great. No, yeah, we would do like Sweeney Todd stuff together all the
Nice.
time. Like we like that kind of stuff. So
That's
it's
so
fun.
cool. And also, but your lady now is a
Yeah,
insane
she's an amazing
singer
singer,
too.
musician,
Yes.
music teacher
So
at
all the
Westwood.
ladies listening right now, he's off limits.
Yeah,
But you can come see us at our
it's true.
shows. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even before I started dating her, I was always really, not really much into the girls in the scene as much because there's just a
Well,
lot of,
it's hard too, like
you
to
know,
date as an artist.
yeah. I don't want to take it, being thought up of taking advantage of anybody, or because I'm
Yes.
because of the
You are
position and
who you
everything
are.
like that. So
Yes.
I just decided, it comes when it comes, and it did.
You
So
meet a real one when you know,
yeah,
and she's definitely one. I'm super happy you guys are together and doing really well. Tell her I miss her next time you see her,
yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
love her. So yeah, I think that's a huge misconception as well within artists is that they think you can't settle down at the same time of ramping things up.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and
You kind of have to, because if you keep on ramping it up, and then you're just gonna run out of money, and then
yeah,
I don't know.
and energy
Yeah.
and I mean you can't perform well when you're wearing yourself thin, right? We
Mm,
definitely know that. And I think one of the things I was coming into play because I work for a record label too is I would not have enough time to practice my sets for rehearsal. I would be so tired at the end of the day. I just want
mm-hmm.
to eat and go to sleep. So really the drive that you take to do this outside of normal jobs is amazing too, and I really hope that you pat on yourself on the back for that because a lot of people don't know how to figure out how to pursue their passion full time.
Right.
And one thing my mom taught me was to do something you love. You never work a day in your life,
Yeah.
and I feel the same way. Yes, we may when we go to set up sound or something, we may get frustrated with finding a chord over here or not plugging something
Yeah.
in right, but it's nothing to the overall happiness that you feel when you jam with your best friend or you share the stage with someone who's inspired you your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Have you shared the stage with any of the bands that you love? I know you guys are constantly jamming with guys on tour that you can bring on stage and things like that, collaborating off the charts. What's been your most memorable?
Probably with Billy Failing, from Billy Strings,
Absolutely.
the banjo player. He was really fun to play with. Love playing with John Mailander. I can't remember if we did an album together, but we haven't. I don't think we've done a sit-in yet with him, but he is amazing.
Cool.
Um, we get a bunch of other people too. Kitchen Dwellers came up with us sometimes whenever we play with them.
Yeah,
It's
kitchen
really fun.
dwellers are great. So when that happens, do you guys rehearse it all, or just for the listeners, they just see this magical collaboration happen on stage, and they're like, "Hey, did they rehearse that at all, or
Usually
did
we
that just
don't.
happen
If we do,
magically?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Usually it happens magically. Actually,
Always,
yeah.
always.
Usually it does. I mean, when I played with Dopapod, we didn't rehearse really anything. Like, Eli showed me a lick, and then I learned the lick, and that was
Took
it.
that lick into
Yeah,
oblivion,
because I
right?
didn't really understand what I just had a question of whatever this thing was or whatever, and then he just would show me on the keyboard, and I would know how to do it there. And then we would just go for it, and we did Faba, which is a pretty intricate, crazy, like 9 to 15 to 20 minute song, And I don't know.
That's a good
I think it
time.
was 20. I think we did a 20-minute fob. I can't remember. And
Wow.
it was just amazing throughout the whole thing. My in-ear system kept falling out, but I was able to hear everything, so it was
Oh,
fun.
I bet you would feel it from the inside out at
Yeah, I
that
could hear
point.
everything. Yeah, at least I can hear everything. And it wasn't the best quality as far as hearing my violin, but it was really a memorable experience. It was really fun.
That's
And
awesome.
that was it was my bad because my ears are so tiny and they just
So
like
tiny.
they just
They're
won't
delicate,
fit.
smiling.
Yeah,
Yes.
they won't fit in ears as well.
So
So
hearing that and going off that. So do you normally wear an earpiece
no,
or
I usually do monitors with the band.
right?
Yeah, and then if we do like a sit in and they already have their setup going and they have like an extra pair of in ears and they throw it on me and then kind
Nice.
of working. So it's not really fitted to my ears anyways, so it's not supposed to fit
Well, it
really.
should be
Yeah.
those ears. So I guess my question going off that would be where would be your favorite venue that you think you guys sounded the best?
mm,
For Blue Halo, I think we sounded the best at Greenway.
yeah.
And that continued just by Kyle into the when we recorded the gift too. You can definitely hear it. Um, so yeah, where do you think even just a venue or a state? Maybe the whole state's good at sound.
No, there is no one state that's really good at sound.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
fact. That's a fact.
I would say the Cervantes in Denver is not bad.
I
Every
heard
time we
great
play, there's
things.
really good. The ballroom, the guys there are really good. I would say that's really good. Now we have our own sound guys, so we're trying to make every venue sound just as good as the next.
Building the team
Hopefully,
bit by bit.
yeah. So
You guys have a traveling photographer in too, right?
yeah.
Kinda.
No, we have our tour manager,
Or do you just pull?
Jacob, and he does his photos on the phone.
Go
And it
Jacob.
works.
Love it. Yeah, they look great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
for
like,
sure.
how do they get so much promo, man, all the time? It's so awesome.
Yeah, we just
And
keep
that's a
going.
big part of it too.
Mhm.
Working in the marketing side of the industry as well. I see a lot of it is just putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
creating that hype, making a music video,
Mhm.
just switching your
Or doing something
profile
small.
picture.
You can do something really small. Like when I just released like a Sonic the Hedgehog video of me playing it on the
Yes, your
violin,
reels
and that's
are
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
And they go so far,
Thank you.
and that also will help in the video game world as well. I mean,
I
just
hope
getting
so. Yeah, for
getting
sure.
those out there.
I want to make an iconic track like that Green Hill Zone from Sonic the
All
Hedgehog
your
1.
tracks you make are iconic
That's what I
number
want
one.
it to be.
But yes, absolutely.
One day.
I agree. And it's coming. It's coming. I hope that you allow yourself some patience because as I've seen you grow over the years, I think you couldn't do it any better or any faster or any opposite way. I think that everything has led you to exactly where you should be. And I hope, before we leave, we can give some little bits of inspiration to the person that is debating starting music.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people are scared to dive in and they really do have a message to share and they could really connect with the world like never before if they could just have that confidence or if that one person told them that they believed in them or hey, can you listen to my track and just maybe inspiring that because I know my mom looked at me crazy when I showed her my first
Hmm.
EDM track. She still calls it bass music. So she
Bass music.
so but if I didn't have beautiful friends like you in my life and all throughout the years that's constantly showed up and been like, you know what, SJ, this might be weird but I love it and I'm so proud of you, and it works. So I think that if we can encourage those people to keep putting themselves out there, especially when we're in the world of AI, it's even more important to create that organically
Right.
and creating that connection organically. And with the Sickard guys, you see me and you, all of it is super organic because we actually all have kind of grown up together. It's not
Hmm.
kind of just somebody put the Backstreet Boys together. This is something this is our life. We played in the backyard basically, and
Yeah.
we've grown up with it, so we couldn't change it if we wanted to. And I think that the more that people realize that if you open up that door to opportunities, a lot of things can happen.
Yeah, it's really wild. I mean, when I just started going to shows, and then I met the band, and then I did the band, and then I met you, and then now we're here. And so you just gotta, for that inspiration, you really just gotta get yourself out there, go to shows, even if you barely know how to play any. Like if you're just a beginner at an instrument, go out and try to find people to play with, because even if you're really bad, like Alex with our, Alex King, really bad at first, like really bad, like
Like we all
he
are,
knows he was
right?
bad. Like we
We
talk about
all,
it all the time. Like
yeah.
yeah, I mean he was a beginner, and I was better at guitar than he was at that time, and now he's like up there. So
It's just like what you said with your students. Practice
yeah, my
makes perfect.
students
You
have
can get it in
gotten
a
so
year
much
if you
better.
try
It's
it.
crazy how good they've gotten. And I just started from the ground up. They've never known how to do it, and so they just sometimes it's not. It's like Ratatouille. Anyone could cook. Anyone can make music.
Yes,
Anyone can do it for
but you
sure.
have to
Yeah.
add the
You
flavor,
gotta add the flavor. Yeah,
like
exactly.
zest,
Yeah, the
ladies and
zest.
gentlemen.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been really lovely to connect with you and inspire those around us. And I guess, yeah, for all those listening at home, you can catch us in the fall. Hopefully, we'll have some fun things coming up. New music, of course. And you guys be sure to check Sacred Hollow out on tour as they keep continuing their great extravaganza.
Ooh.
And we're going to keep watching it and keep being big fans. So, you guys keep tuning in, and hopefully, we'll see some solo music before long, and all the good, beautiful things to come. So, this is going to be our first episode of Zest. And hosted by yours truly, SJ here. And next time you'll see us, I will be interviewing Brokaw, who is from Evansville, an EDM DJ who is also collabing with our Blue Halo project. And Sandstorm will be out this June. So thank you guys for tuning in. Matt, thank you for being
Thank
here.
you for
Love
having
you
me.
so much.
Love you too.
We always keep it magical, and we always
Yes.
will. So until next time, my friend.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.
See you next time.